Hello, everyone. Now for question 1, this is a test for laws of indices. What you need to do is to change all the exponents to power of 3. And 81 is 3 to the power 4, 27 is 3 to the power 3, and then you can do the calculation. It's just that after the simplification, usually this is the answer, but none of the choices show this answer. So you have to change it back to base 9. Question 2, change of subject. Question 3, factorization. This is the grouping method. Question 4, the equation has equal roots, therefore delta is equal to 0. And in delta, A, B, and C are all coefficients of the equation. It shouldn't have x in it anymore. I think question 5 may need some clarification. The question says f of x plus 1 equal h minus x and x plus 2 minus k. That is given. And also given f of 2 equal f of 0 equal 3. Now to find the coefficients h and k, you need 2 substitutions. But since I don't know f of x, I cannot do a direct substitution. One of the methods, you can solve it in different ways, but one of the methods is shown here. I think it's very simple to carry out, but it requires some understanding. This is to figure out what value I must substitute inside this function. Because I want the outcome to be 2. Now, this outcome must be 2. So x must equal 1. Now, if you see f of 2, you see it as f of 1 plus 1. And then you can figure out in this function, I must put x equal 1 in it. Therefore, you have here f of 1 plus 1 is equal to 3. And here you replace x with 1, and that is h minus 1, h minus 1, and 1 plus 2 minus k equal 3. And then you have one equation. 3h minus k equals 6. The second one, f of 0, also cannot be used directly because I don't know f of x. Therefore, I need to figure out what value plus 1 should fill this blank. Now, what value plus 1? Because here I have x plus 1. So what value plus 1? And I figure out as negative 1 plus 1 in order to use f of 0. So negative 1 plus 1 equals 3, and then you put in x equal negative 1. That is h minus negative 1, negative 1 plus 2 minus k equals 3. Then you have another equation. And solve these 2 equations simultaneously, you can find the value of k. Now this question, if you don't understand, please try to figure out. Try to figure out. I'll be able to answer your question tonight. Question 6. It's a simple substitution. It's just this is a new function. You need to find the new function. Question 7. The first statement, the coefficient of x squared is negative. Therefore, the graph opens downward. Statement 2. The y-intercept can be found by substitution. When you put in x equals 0, you will find the value for y, and that value is the y-intercept. In this case, is negative v squared minus w squared, and this must be negative. It's a negative square and another negative square. It must be negative. So the second is true. Third statement. When y equals 0, solving this equation, you want to figure out how many solutions there are. So you want to calculate the discriminant, b squared minus 4ac. I know it's with a lot of unknown. But when you simplify this, b squared minus 4ac, b squared minus 4ac, when you simplify it, you will get a negative value. You don't know what it is, but you know it's a negative value. And therefore, the graph does not cut the x-axis. Only 1 and 2 are true. Question 8. Which of the statements is true? Well, A, B, C, D, only one is true. So for A, you substitute and then you get this. The outcome is not 21, therefore no. For B, the y-intercept, obviously not true. Not true. For C, you can solve it. And then C is not true. C says it doesn't have any intercepts, but it does. For D, I think you can find the axis of symmetry. Now, the axis of symmetry can be found by the two x-intercepts using the symmetry to find. One is at, I think it's opening down, right? This one is -6, this one is 3, and then you can find the middle. It's -1.5. Therefore, the equation of the axis of symmetry is x equals to -1.5. Question 9. Question 9, the graph opens downward, therefore A is negative. And also y-intercept is negative, therefore negative B is negative, B is positive. Now, it's the opening direction, the y-intercept. You should also look at the x-intercepts. The graph does not intersect the x-intercept. It does not intersect the x-axis. Therefore, the equation, the delta is smaller than 0, and AB is smaller than -4. So the answer is B. For question 10, the vertex. Now here, I didn't use the completing square to find the vertex. You can. In this question, you can use the symmetry. Now you see I'm using the symmetry to find the vertex. You can also use the completing the square. Now if I use completing the square, you will take out 2. And then you plus 1 minus 1. You get the same answer. Okay, now for completing the square, you must realize you cannot divide 2 in this function. In function, we do not divide 2. In the equation, we can. In function, you must keep this coefficient 2 all the time. Now, in the end, it's -32. -1, -32. Next one. The midpoint formula to find the coordinates of y, and then use the 2-point form to find the equation of yp, I think. Question 12, you will do a substitution to find one equation, and you'll use the slope to find another equation, the slope. One equation by substitution, one equation by slope. And solving these two equations simultaneously, you can find A and B. When you find A and B, you can find the x-intercept of L. It's not the end. A and B is not the end. In the end, you still have to find the intercept, the x-intercept of L. 13. Now 13 is a difficult one. It's always difficult. Now I can only say that you will find out every coefficient, whether or not it's positive or negative first. You will see. Now through the y-intercept of L, you will find n is positive. First statement. Y-intercept, you get n is positive. Okay? And then from the slope, you will get n is negative. M is negative. The slope of L1. The y-intercept of L2, you will get Q is negative. The slope of L2, you will get P is negative. It's four different things. Y-intercept, slope. Y-intercept again, and slope. Okay? Four things and four signs. The first one is N, and then M, and Q, and P. You know the signs of the four coefficients instantly. Not instantly, but one by one. And then you can say, oh, because PQ is positive, as both of them are negative, so the product is positive. And then M times N is negative. Therefore, the second statement is also true. The last one is based on the signs of P, Q, and N separately. You cannot find P plus Q, cannot find, but you can know P, Q, M, N separately. And you will know that since P and Q are both negative, their sum must be negative. And then M minus M must be positive because one is positive, the other one is negative. A positive number minus a negative number must be positive. Therefore, the third one is true as well. All statements are true. 14. 14, simplification. You have to do simplification with K. Okay? Z2, simplification again. Simplification with K. And then you will know that the real part is equal to the real part. You will find the value of K. K equals to -1. And then you will find Z1 and Z2 separately. And then in the end, you will find, oh, this is 15Z2 minus Z1. That is 33I. Therefore, the imaginary part of this complex number is 33. 15, also the same thing. In 15, you will put in Z inside the X and then simplify. Read carefully. Put in and then simplify. This one, put in for Y, also put in and then simplify. I think for X, it's easy to simplify because the denominator is 2 beta. And 2 beta is already a real value. So you don't have to really multiply anything. It's just that's the end. But for Y, because the denominator is -2I, you must multiply I to make it real. Multiply I. Some of you would choose to multiply something else, but the easiest one is to multiply I. And then you will get this. So you will figure out, oh, the real part of Y and the real part of X, are they opposite? Because the statements say, oh, are they opposite? Yes, they are. They are. And also statement 2, imaginary part of X, imaginary part of Y. Are they reciprocal of each other? They're not. They're not. Reciprocal means their product equals to 1. The reciprocal of 1 over 2 beta should be beta, not beta over 2. So the second statement is not true. For the last one, you have to simplify z. And to simplify z, you must multiply the conjugate. And then you just have to calculate with beta in it. And for 1 over z as well, also multiply the conjugate and do all that. And you will see that the real part of z and the real part of 1 over z, they're equal. Therefore, the third statement is true. Don't know. Don't know. 14 or 16. Sum of roots, product of roots. 17. Completing the square. Take out -6. Add 4 minus 4. And then the greatest value. That is the largest value, the maximum. And then you get k equals 16. Question 18. Now this question is unseen. Did I mark it unseen? I think so. There are other solutions. This is the suggested solution. There are other solutions. Now let the other root of the equation be beta. And since negative a is one of the roots, I can use the product of roots. Negative a times beta equal a. I can find the other root. Beta equal -1. Now here I say a is not equal to 0 because I want to divide a. Now when I need to divide something, I make sure it's non-zero, so I divide. And beta is found. Now when beta is found, and I can put it back inside the equation, and I will get 1 minus b plus a equals 0. So the second choice, not the second, I think the third choice, C, is correct. A minus b is -1. 19. In 19, the problem is we know f of alpha and f of beta are equal, but we don't know what they are equal to. So it's kind of like stuck. We're stuck because we don't know what the value is. But in the end, you will find the value will not matter. This is my solution. I will let the value of f of alpha and f of beta both equal to k. I'm going to use k, but later on k does not matter. You will see. Since this is f of alpha and this is f of beta, and they are both equal to k. Therefore, I have these two equations written out. And therefore, I figure out that alpha and beta are the roots of the same equation. Now, when I simplify the equation, I get this equation. And I know the sum of roots, alpha plus beta, is equal to -b over a. In this case, is a plus b. That's why I choose B. I think this one is unseen, probably because a lot of unknowns, right? But if you read every step, you will see that every concept has been taught. Everything you should have known already. This technique, and then the sum of roots. It's not out of syllabus, you must understand. It's not. It's just the question is new. It's a new kind of question. Question 20. This is the short version, by the way. Short version. 21. Now this one is unseen as well. Because the question gives you an equation of straight line, but the equation has k in it. Now, since we don't know what k is, usually we have no idea what the straight line is like. Usually we shouldn't have any knowledge of the straight line. We cannot find the slope, we cannot find the y-intercept, we cannot find the x-intercept, because all those things are related to the coefficients, and the coefficient is not known. Okay. However, sometimes math can be very, I don't know, mysterious. Is that if you put all the choices inside the equation, you will find out one of the 4 choices is very special. Now I put C inside. This is the choice C. Choice C. When I put choice C inside the equation, I found out that no matter what k is, it cancels itself out. In my calculation, when I put 1, -2 inside, it's gone. K is gone. K does not exist anymore. Can you believe that? It is true. It happens for this point. If you put any other choice, A, B, and D inside, it doesn't happen. It's just for this magical point. The K does not exist anymore in the calculation. It deletes itself out, cancel itself out. And there is no K. And also the outcome is 0. And that means this point satisfies the equation. So no matter what K is, the straight line, this unknown straight line always passes through this particular point for sure, regardless of K. Now you must get used to that. Sometimes in math, there is something unknown. But sometimes the outcome has nothing to do with the unknown. I mean, that's just what it is. Most of the time, it has something to do with the unknown, like the slope, like the coefficient, like the y-intercept. But for this point, it's not relevant. It doesn't matter. You will see more. You will see more things like that when you study further in math. 22. 22, L1 and L2 coincide. Therefore, their slopes are equal, y-intercepts are equal. I set up 2 equations, and any of these 2 equations give me the same answer, k equal 4. So k equal 4. 23. Distinct real roots, delta is greater than 0. 24. 24, this value is one of the roots. So I simplify this value. And after simplification, the outcome is 1/2 plus 1/2i. And I know that the other root must be the conjugate. I think you should know that according to, it's not said in the textbook, but according to -b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a, only this part can give you an I. Sometimes. Only this part. Because this part, if it's negative, it will give you an I. Right? And then it's plus or minus. So no matter what A, B, C are, in this question, you don't go for A, B, C. You don't. It's just, you know that no matter what A, B, C are, if you have one root, that is 1 plus I, the other root must be 1 minus I. because that's what it is. It's negative b plus something and negative b minus something. It's written in the structure of the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula tells that they are conjugate. So you can immediately know the other root. Other root is 1 over 2 minus 1 over 2i. Last question. I think this one is simple, isn't it? You just put in -1 inside all the choices and only b will equal. It only satisfies b. That's all. Let me know. Let me know. I will check my email tonight. Let me know.